Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at how the Thule Camber 4-bike hanging rack fits on our 2014 Toyota Prius V. If you want to carry around a lot of bikes without taking up a lot of space, that's when you might be interested in a hanging rack like the Thule Camber. The Camber sits a little bit lower compared to some other hanging racks. That way you still have really good visibility out of your rear window of your Prius V, but also whether you have an 1.25" hitch or a 2-inch hitch, this will fit with it. So we'll talk about weight capacities as well as how it sits on your Prius V. That way you can make a decision for what is the best bike rack for you, your different types of bikes, and your car. So your Prius V can carry around a lot of people and a lot of cargo, but did you know you can also carry around a lot of bikes if you have the right bike rack? So the Thule Camber will let you carry around a lot of bikes, but it works well with the Prius V in that it doesn't cover the rear window even with the bikes on, and you have good ground clearance. So we'll talk about how it fits, and then that way you can make a decision for if it's the right fit for you. Now first, make sure you have the right hitch for your Prius V. If you have an 1.25" hitch, it has to be class 2, and most of the 1.25" options for the V are only class 1. So I have the 2-inch Eco hitch, which is why I have the weight capacity to carry around this bike rack and these bikes. Keep that in mind. If you have a class 1 hitch, you cannot carry more than 2 bikes. This has a 37.5 pound weight capacity per bike, which allows you to carry even bikes of slightly more weight than your regular bike rack. But you can also carry those different sizes and shapes too. So we have our kids bike here. Using our frame adapter bar, we are able to carry it around. So for those kids bikes, women's frames, step-through frames, alternate frame bikes, check out our frame adapter bar options. Now let's take our bike off, and we have 1, 2, 3 mounting points. So 2 are going to be for your top tube or your frame adapter bar, and the 3rd is going to be your anti-sway for either your seat post or your down tube. So we'll take the straps off by pressing the lever and lifting up on the straps. See where our handlebars, our pedals, our wheels are, and how they're all aligned. It's gonna be a little bit of trial and error on your part just to make sure that all your bikes fit on this rack. But good thing you have some extra features to make it easier. We'll talk about that later. To demonstrate the anti-sway, you can fold it in when you're loading and unloading your bikes. And you can see how much sway you have with this attach, which isn't much at all. And then let's loosen this strap. Now we have a fair bit more sway with our bikes. So now that the bikes are off, we can now take our specs and measurements. So measuring for the length added to the back of our Prius V, I'm gonna measure from our bumper to the end of the rack, and this sits at 43 inches of length. So it is gonna be longer compared to some of our other hanging style racks. So if you have limited space in your garage or try and park into a really tight spot, remember that measurement. The reason the arms are so long is because the cradles are 7 inches apart, which is really good because most bike racks are limited to 5 inches apart. So the increased distance has less likely of colliding or collision for your bikes, plus slightly easier for you to put the bikes on and take them off. So there's a slight incline of the arms, but even then it does not go over halfway of our rear window. So we still have almost full visibility through the rear window even with bikes on, plus our taillights are visible, and our backup camera is offset to the driver's side. So with the bikes off, you have almost full visibility, and with the bikes on, still a usable visibility. If you're not planning on going out for a bike ride just yet, or if you need to get the arms down so you can fit into your garage, with the bikes off, you can fold the arms down. There's a lever here in the back. Just pull that lever and bring this down and it snaps back into place. The length now added to the back of our car is from the bumper to the end of the bike rack by the cradles, 13 inches. Big difference compared to when the arms were up. You'll definitely want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town and you don't want to take up too much space. But what if you need to gain access to all that cargo space in your Prius V? Well, with a bike up like this, you can't open up your hatch, so you are going to have to take the bikes off, fold the arms down, and then you can tilt the rack away. There's this lever right here. Pull that and push out on that bike rack, and now you have plenty of clearance to get into your hatch. So this has an 1.25 inch shank for those 1.25 inch class 2 hitch receivers. I have a 2-inch hitch on my Prius V, so it fits that too with this included adapter, and it has an anti-rattle bolt that goes in on one side. So what that does is it helps decrease that side-to-side shake of the bike rack so your bikes are not swaying around. What I did notice though is with that adapter piece, there's a little bit of up and down movement, especially noticeable when you go up those speed bumps. The ground clearance is the height of your hitch receiver. So measure from your hitch receiver to the ground, and we have 10.25 inches. It's gonna be almost the same for the arms. This is gonna be 11 inches off the ground. So that way, even though you have longer arms, you're not hurting yourself for ground clearance. So my personal thoughts about the Thule Camber is I really like how it looks, especially with the Prius V. It has a utilitarian look with how it sits lower to the ground, and that way you still have the visibility through your rear window. The downside really is that adapter. With the 2-inch hitch we have and the up and down movement because of the adapter, I am not the biggest fan. I prefer a 2-inch shank so it has a tighter fit. So for options like that, you may want to check out something like the Kurt Premium Bike Rack. You don't have the same comfort features like a distance apart for the cradles, but they're also closer together to make it easier for those different shaped bikes. So it's really what types of features are you looking for and what do you need for your adventures. And this right here was a look at the Thule Camber 4-bike hanging rack on our 2014 Toyota Prius V.